Hey Eurovision fans, it's Tom coming to you from Dublin. I'm back for another Eurovision reaction video. Today I'm going to be discussing the results of Melodi Grand Prix semi-final number 2. 3 songs have qualified to the final, so let's kiki. Okay, so the show just finished. We had 3 more qualifiers tonight. They were Jonah, LCB and Swing It. I'm going to speak about those first, and then we'll talk about the 4 people who didn't qualify and anything else about the show. So first up was Jonah. He actually opened the show. This kind of caught me by surprise. I enjoyed it when I did my reaction to the song, but it kind of came together when I actually saw the performance. It really reminded me of Spirit in the Sky, and also reminded me of Joust as well. They have those images superimposed on the screen of the girl kind of doing, I'm not sure what that type of singing is. If someone's from Norway and they know, please let me know in the comments below, but it felt like kind of like a sister to yoiking. I thought he held himself pretty well. Actually, his vocals sounded very, very good. Dance moves weren't totally amazing, but overall I thought it brought the song together, maybe look at it in a new way. And actually after that performance I was like, okay, he's definitely going through. It had something a little bit special about it. Also kind of wondering now, could he be a little bit of a challenger to Ulrika? It's something very, very different. It does have that slight element of ridiculousness that Spirit in the Sky had, and kind of like over the top pop drama. So I wonder, could that be something that just sets him apart? Also just being a boy up against Ulrika, we know that Maren is probably, and Elsie are the other favourites as well, so that could just help him stand out a little bit. But this was my winner when I did my reaction video, and is my winner after seeing the live performances as well. Okay, the second song that went through was a little bit of a surprise, although I didn't totally commit to it, but I did guess that it could happen on Twitter. I'll post the tweet here. Swing It actually went through as the second qualifier. Not a gigantic surprise. I thought the performance was actually very entertaining. There's 7 of them on the stage, which I don't particularly understand. When they had their publicity shot, one of the guys looked very unhappy, and I joked that that was the guy who wouldn't get to go to Eurovision because there's 7 of them. That actually turns out to be the lead singer. So I don't know who they're going to kick out. There were 2 dancers there who actually quite liked their dance moves. It felt very nostalgic and actually kind of like well researched as well. It felt like they were very anachronistic dance moves. And the whole thing was just like high energy, and I think his vocals were very good. It actually just worked. You know, the song I still think is probably a little bit too twee or maybe a bit too goofy to actually go to Eurovision, but I thought it was actually a very fun show. I think a lot of people just write it off because it was a swing song, but yeah, at the end of the day, I think the Norwegian public just chose something that actually kind of was fun to watch. You know, we've seen a couple of these swing songs in Sweden as well, and I don't tend to enjoy them. I actually thought this was enjoyable. So we're waiting to see, are they going to have a Gustav moment in the final and end up surprise winning? That'll really shake things up. Okay, the third qualifier was LCB, and I have to admit, going into the semi-final, I was convinced that she was definitely going to qualify. After seeing the performance, a little bit less so. Her vocals were mostly good, although she was kind of cracking towards the end, which was interesting for me because I've always wondering how much auto-tune help are they getting. That actually showed me that they're getting some help, but it's not like a complete and utter cover-up, because some of the notes she hit at the end didn't work, so the auto-tune can only do so much. Generally though, I thought her performance was quite strong. She does tend to have this like quite dated staging. I'm trying to avoid saying old lady staging. I think she's got an old soul. I think she's that type of like, yeah, that's not a negative thing to say about someone if they've got an old soul, but it does come across her staging there. It's very Broadway. It looked like the staging would be at home in something like Cabaret or some sort of Broadway show. Almost felt like staging from the 40s or something like that, or a song that's about the 40s. It just wasn't hitting me as like super modern, you know, interpretive dancing, people swirling around. We've kind of had that quite a lot. I was hoping for an idea that would be a little bit more like dark, weird, original, because I find the song quite mysterious and like supernatural almost a little bit, and I didn't get that from the staging at all. I just got kind of like dated, old-fashioned. So I was a little bit disappointed with that, and I was starting to worry a little bit, like, is she even going to make it through? But yeah, she did get through. We don't know if she was actually in first, second, or third. Obviously, they're kind of in a random order when they call the results. Okay, there were 4 people who didn't qualify. I'll just talk about them briefly. So Sandra, I actually quite liked her staging. I thought it was quite dramatic. She had this kind of like monastic, white nun priestess thing going on, and then she was on a giant cube that came down. She like ripped off, and she was like this Valkyrie badass queen. Yeah, I thought the staging was very cool, had an interesting concept. She had 4 Slender Men come on as well at the end. So I thought there were like some interesting tableaus in it. I don't particularly like that lullaby aspect of the song. I know it does make sense when you know the context of it, but still for me, it just gave some like empty parts in the song where I think maybe some people would lose interest. Okay, another non-qualifier was Alejandro Fuentes. I thought this was like absolutely devoid of a single original idea. The setup looked like Despacito, and then, you know, he had Fire because the song is called Fuego. It was just like they don't have any ideas, so it's just like, oh well, I'm Latin, I'll just have a song called Fuego or Mi Corazon, or, you know, Amor del Fuego or Amor de la Muerte. You know, it just comes across as like very unimaginative. Just everything about it was just kind of fine, just kind of bland. I wasn't expecting this to qualify. Okay, and then we had Ella with Waste, who is a little bit of a fan favorite. I thought her performance was very good. I just think this song is not particularly special. That instrumental part of the chorus where they start dancing, not enough happened on the stage that made me think, oh wow, this is amazing. I think she needed more of a slow-mo moment where that instrumental was just like super wow. Instead it was fine. I thought there were some interesting sounds in this. I thought her vocals sounded really, really great. She looked stunning. Definitely want to buy her exercise video. But yeah, just lacking in the chorus some sort of melodic hook for me to grab onto. And lastly, non-qualified was Bjorn Olof Edvardsen. Yeah, just this was super flat. I was actually in the YouTube chat when this was on. People were really ragging on this, calling it snoozy and boring. I thought it was fine. It's got some nice bits in the chorus, but yeah, it's a bit of a... If this had qualified and Kate didn't qualify from the first semi-final, I would have been pretty pissed off because Kate had a much better, more beautifully composed ballad. So I think that would have been a real injustice. In any case, I'm pretty happy with the three that went through. I have to admit, I thought the standard of the semi-final was the tone. It just didn't feel like there were any winners there at all. It was kind of almost felt like a competition for who's going to be third, fourth place. Maybe Joan might be able to compete a little bit, but I still don't really feel like he's in the conversation to win at all. I'd be happy if he did, but I'm not getting that vibe. Generally, the whole theme of this semi-final seemed to be 18 to 22nd placing in Eurovision. It was like that safe song that qualifies but doesn't do anything in the final because it's just so unspecial. So generally a bit disappointed with this semi-final. I have to admit, I don't think MGP is going to be the strongest this year. I'm pretty sure that there's one more strong song in the third semi called Freya, which I'm kind of banking all my hopes into. But generally this year, I haven't got that many downloads. It happens. You can't expect a national final to be super high every single year. But yeah, I think other finals like UMK kind of just having stronger years this year. But I still enjoy watching MGP. I still hate how they give the results. I hate that they kind of humiliate people. And also, because Swing It was such a surprise, I feel like they should have kept that to last. So it was more of like a wow moment instead of calling them out first. So I just think the structure of the show, I still don't think that they found their good niche for the whole show. All right, that's what I thought about MGP semi-final number 2. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Give me a thumbs up if you like my hat or if you like the video. By the way, I'm wearing this hat because it's freaking freezing. And thanks so much for watching. I'm seeing another Eurovision reaction video very soon. Goodbye.